Hello, my name is Bashir Jarar. In this video, I will provide you with some tips and recommendations that will help you better manage the free writing part of the back exam. At the outset, let me tell you that below this video, you will find a link to a Padlet, which includes plenty of materials with ideas that cover different topics. So, in the writing section of the exam, you have two tasks: a guided writing task and a free productive one, which consists in a topic to deal with using your own ideas. The most common writing types are writing an article, writing a letter, formal or informal, writing a speech, writing a Facebook post, an email, a blog post, also writing a report, a film review, a journal, a personal narrative, etc., etc. Different writing types have particular conventions. They have typical features when it comes to the form as well as the structure of the language. For example, an article usually has a headline and uses formal language. A speech usually addresses the audience directly and includes persuasive language. A letter can be formal, cover letter or letter of complaint, or it can be informal, we mean letter to a friend, for example. But any type of letter should include a heading, an opening, a body, and a closing. No matter what the type of writing is, you are expected to read the topic suggested, highlight the main point or points you are going to write about, and then construct a paragraph in which you develop your ideas and support them with arguments, details, examples, quotes, etc., etc. Before you start writing, you should find out what you are going to write: an article, a letter, a speech, or a paragraph. Then who you are going to write to, a friend, your boss, etc. And why you are writing. This is to say, you are writing so that you can convince someone or make suggestions or give advice or opinions, etc., etc. After identifying the genre, the audience, and the purpose, you start brainstorming ideas. Generate ideas related to the topic. Just jot them down as they come. Then you will have to plan your paragraph, organize your ideas, and select the best ones. Some ideas you jot down are good for the introduction. Others should be developed and sequenced in the body of the paragraph, while some other ideas fit in the conclusion. A paragraph is made of three main parts: a topic sentence, a body, and a concluding sentence. The topic sentence introduces the topic or the subject, and it is followed by a number of ideas to support it. There is only one topic sentence in the paragraph, and all the following sentences should support that main idea to make it strong, plausible, and convincing for the reader. 3 or 4 ideas would be enough, and of course they must be supported by explanatory details, arguments, and examples. The last sentence in your paragraph, which is the concluding sentence, is a sort of summary of what has been mentioned in the body of the paragraph. Here are a few recommendations before you start writing. Never be tempted to start writing immediately because of time constraints. Planning is a must. Do not copy the exact words of the topic suggested to make your paragraph look longer. This gives a negative impression about you, and it means that you are unable to write your personal topic sentence to start your paragraph. However, it is possible to reuse or reinvest some of the words or phrases seen in the subject while you are developing your ideas. Don't introduce totally new ideas in the body. All supporting ideas must not stray away from the topic mentioned in the opening sentence. I mean the topic sentence. Do not repeat the same idea over and over again. Back to our writing process. So, after planning your paragraph, selecting the best ideas, and organizing them, you need to develop them into a first draft. While writing, you need to consider how all of the sentences interact with each other and how your reader will relate to your paragraph. So, you need to bear in mind not only the purpose, whether it's giving advice or making suggestions, etc., but also some key elements like clarity, unity, and coherence of your ideas. A piece of writing has unity and coherence when all of the ideas are related to the topic sentence, well organized, and flow smoothly and logically from one to the next. Three important features of coherence are: 1. Logical order, repetition of keywords to keep the reader focused on the topic, and use of transitional words and phrases. So, linkers are here very important to relate your ideas and make your paragraph coherent and easily understood. They are a sort of makeup that gives your paragraph a pleasant look and makes it attractive to the reader. Here is a non-exhaustive list of linkers. To start your idea, you may use some of these. For example, first and foremost, first of all, firstly, etc., etc. To add more information, you may say, or you may start with, as well as, besides, furthermore, or added to this, etc. If you want to contrast ideas, you may use some of these, although plus subject plus verb, despite plus noun phrase, despite the fact that, however, or neither something nor something else. In order to conclude your paragraph, you may use all in all, in conclusion, to sum up or to conclude, last but not least, or any of the rest of the list. In order to express cause or consequence, they are in order. You may use for the cause as, since, because, plus subject plus verb, or because of plus noun phrase. As for the consequence, you may use so, therefore, as a consequence, or so plus something plus that plus result. As for the communicative functions, here are some hints that may help you. In order to make suggestions, you can use I suggest doing, etc., etc. It would be a good idea if plus sentence. Why not or why don't we plus verb. To give advice, you may use some of these. You should or you shouldn't plus infinitive verb, of course. I would or wouldn't advise you to plus infinitive. It is better to plus infinitive. In order to express opinion, attitude, or certainty, you can also use whatever you like of this list. Example, as far as I am concerned, and you start your sentence. I think or I don't think that is not necessary, and then you finish your sentence. We must admit that, and you finish your sentence. Well, the use of transition words and expressions depends on the purpose of your writing. You can click on the link below the video to find many other examples of transition markers and expressions on the first column of the Padlet. Well, now, after writing your first draft, you should revise it. I mean, refine your paragraph and make some changes to improve it and have an impressive introduction and conclusion. To improve it, you need to edit or proofread what you have written. This means correct grammatical errors, check the vocabulary you used, check your punctuation and spelling. And don't forget to correct any errors in logic order and finish out by smoothing transitions, I mean linking words, that you've used so as to improve the flow of your paragraph. Only after revising and editing can you write the final draft. Now, to mark your writing, we use these criteria. First, adherence to the task and content adequacy, and we allot 4 marks. The language, we mean by that grammar and vocab, and we allot 4 marks. Mechanics, we mean spelling and punctuation, and we allot 2 marks. As for the adherence to task and content adequacy, students or you have to check whether you dealt with all the elements highlighted in the beginning. I mean, what to write, letter, article, or anything else. The language that you use should be suitable to who you are writing to and why you are writing. Then, the content, you should also make sure that your ideas follow a certain logic and they are joined smoothly by suitable linkers. Now, the language. We mean by the language whether you used your grammar correctly. I mean by grammar, the tenses, the forms, adjective, noun, etc., and the prepositions. Then the mechanics. You should check whether you wrote your words correctly and also whether you used a suitable punctuation, I mean full stop, comma, capital letters, etc., etc. Now look at this example from the art students exam of 2017. Here we are going to read the topic and highlight the most important ideas. The Ministry of Education has created a Facebook page on which people share ideas about educational matters. Write a 12-line post in which you suggest ways to improve education in your country. 10 marks allotted. Now, we are going to highlight the most important ideas. The first one is 12-line post. Then suggest to improve education in your country, of course. Now, to answer my 3 questions, the what to write, who to write to, and why to write, I'm going to write a post. And then, who am I writing to? I'm writing to people on Facebook. Then why am I writing? I'm writing to suggest ways to improve education in Tunisia. Now here is a sample paragraph. As you can see, my paragraph is made of 3 parts. The topic sentence, which is improving the quality of education in Tunisia, has become a must, supported by details. Look at the details that make the body of the paragraph. The first detail finishes here. The second detail, which is, it seems long because it is a detail and it has an explanation with it. A third detail finishes here. It is a bit longer because it contains more examples to explain the idea, and the last detail finishes here. Then I finished my paragraph with the closing sentence that starts at sum up and finishes at word. And as you can see, this sentence summarizes what has been dealt with in the body of the paragraph. Now, in order to make my paragraph coherent, I used linkers and functions. As you can see, the linkers used are indeed. I am adding things, add to this. Then this is because. Then because. After that, last but not least. And finally, to sum up. As for the functions, I am here expressing how to make a suggestion. That's why I used it's high time we, etc., etc. I suggest, and then it would be a good idea to plus infinitive. Now, before I leave you, I would like to draw your attention to one familiar question asked by many students. This is, how long is my paragraph? Well, 12 lines is largely enough to make yourself understood and to defend your point of view. This is equally enough material to let your reader evaluate your writing skill according to the correction scale that we mentioned previously. However, you may write more than or less than 12 lines and you will not be penalized for that. One more thing. Watch your time. Do not waste so much time generating ideas and drafting and editing. Allocate the right amount of time you need to develop your paragraph and stick to it. We suggest 25 to 30 minutes for this free writing task. Now, please remember, handwriting can be a helpful factor to make your paragraph easily read and your ideas clearly delivered to the reader. Clear handwriting, will affect positively the mark given. However, a very small handwriting or an illegible one will definitely be harmful to the comprehension of your ideas, and your reader may not be able to focus and read your paragraph until the end. And this will definitely affect negatively the mark given. Now, thank you for your attention and goodbye.